So what is infrastructure as a service? How does that compare to software as a service?
Well, I think how we sort of frame it is when you talk about cloud, when Gartner talks about cloud, it's this big, huge market. We sort of break it down into three categories. The software as a service, right, which is the applications offered. This is the Salesforces, the Gmail, right? And then there's the platform as a service, which you have like Google API and Microsoft Azure and those, where they sort of give you a database and a platform, and then you can write your application and serve it out.
Sure.
And then our level is the infrastructure as a service. This is the physical hardware. So this is, the compute, the storage, the network, the security, and all the ancillary equipment that make up the IT infrastructure. And it's that as a service. So we sell sort of the foundational platform to offer, things like platform as a service and software.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. So what are the benefits of private cloud hosting?
Oh, plenty. I consider private cloud sort of having your cake and eating it too. The traditional cloud that sort of got this whole thing started with, folks like Amazon EC2, that's traditionally a shared platform, and there are a lot of things you can't do with the shared platform because of the fact you just can't control the infrastructure underneath it, and you don't know who's sitting on the same infrastructure or the same compute platform as your servers are. And because of that, there are a lot of things you can't do. PCI compliance, HIPAA regulations, things like that force you to be in control of your infrastructure are just impossible to do with shared. Private, you are. So you're typically private cloud, you're on a dedicated compute platform.
Yeah.
All your VMs are yours and yours alone on that compute platform. You have control typically of your infrastructure, so you can create things like outbound firewall policy rules, things like that. And because of that, it gets you, you don't typically have the same compliance issues as you would in shared cloud. So you get all the scalability, the easy onboarding, getting your system set up, the management, the ongoing management, all the benefits of cloud, but you don't have that hindrance of the lack of security that the shared version gives you.
Okay. So how do you see the cloud environment playing out over the next couple of years? I mean, is it going to be the type of thing where there's just a couple of big providers, or are we going to have an entire ecosystem available to us?
We're going to have an entire ecosystem. I think, a lot of people said it, but I believe it wholeheartedly that, the cloud, this thing we call the cloud is the next game changer. I mean, we had, back in the day, you had mainframes with dumb terminals, and then you had the PCs to compute on the desktop, and that changed things. And I think this is the next paradigm shift, which is, no one owns their infrastructure. It's all hosted. Only the largest companies own it, and basically most folks who have IT infrastructure will have some sort of cloud, either their own private cloud, hosted private cloud, or shared cloud, and probably everything in between. So I pretty much believe that this is where IT infrastructure is headed.
Sure. So the last question I have for you, and it's kind of odd, and it expands the boundaries of this a little bit, but if we move everything into dedicated environments and there's a centralization to it, so if everybody has their infrastructure in one place or a couple different places, how important is physical security of those environments?
I think it's hugely important. I think the data center industry has been focused on physical security for a long time because of threats like this. And post 9/11, people started taking a look at data centers and saying, hey, this could be a serious threat depending on what kind of data it protects. But as we move forward, I think a lot more bad folks are going to start thinking that hey, I can do a lot more damage by taking out folks' applications and services and systems and data in a single shot than I can through other mechanisms. So I think there's going to be a bigger focus on it. I think the data center industry has been particularly aware of the situation and taken measures, but I think it's going to become more of a forefront for everybody.
Right. Interesting. Well, thanks very much for being with us. Appreciate
You're welcome.
it.
You're welcome. Thank you.